Falcon fans, and of course, good old Falcon fans. You already know what it is. You already know what to do. Episode 231. Damn, two shows already in a day. Less than 5 hours. I don't know what the hell's going on here at one time for the fan, but we must be doing something right. Apple Podcast, Spotify Podcast, Amazon Podcast, and so much more. Just Google us one time for the fan, man. We're holding it down. T-Will for my ATL Sports.
Yes, sir.
How's everything going, sir? How I see is CrowdStrike down? Apparently the laptops are down today. The monitors are down. Did they get you too?
No, they're just down for the time being. You know, every now and then you got to reboot them and let them do their thing and stuff. You know what I mean? You can't keep them running 24/7 all the time. But all is well. All is well. They will be fired up in a little while. So all is well. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. I think you know how we start the podcast. We normally, mention how are you doing since the last time we spoke, but we talked like 2 hours ago right here on the podcast.
We literally talked 2 hours ago.
And then we're back now on the podcast talking what?
Falcons.
Atlanta Falcons football. Falcon fans talking Falcons football on a Falcons Friday. You can't beat that with a stick. Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Tag your Falcons friends. Tell your Falcons family. We're almost at 1,000 in subscribers. A thou wow. And this morning, breakfast with One Time for the Fan was quick. But now we are back with lunch with One Time for the Fan. I don't know if we're going to do dinner with One Time for the Fan, but we love doing these podcasts and talking to you all. Before we do get started, Terry, since the last time we talked, how are you doing, sir?
Doing well. Took my wife and daughter to the Waffle House this morning and had some eggs and grits, and the only thing we didn't have was a waffle, but it was delicious. Jack, are you there? Did you drop off? Jack? Wow. Okay. Well, Jack, you there? Okay. All right. Looks like what?
Yep. Streamlab problems. StreamYard.
Okay. StreamYard be StreamYard. Yeah, I get it. No, but all is well, man. Took my wife and youngest daughter to Waffle House, and we had some of that this morning. It was delicious. Sat down for dinner and, had a family conversation, and all was well.
Breakfast with One Time for the Fan went well. Hope the chat is going well. West Coast crew, check in. Season ticket holders, check in. Let's rep. What section are you?
Mm-hmm.
Rep it in the chat. Mercedes-Benz Stadium. We want to see our season ticket holders because week 1 is around the corner, my good friend. So we got to let those Steeler fans know that those diehard Atlanta Falcon fans will be showing up in mass numbers. Now, you know the Steeler fan base is going to be there, Terry. You know the Steelers travel very well. But it's up to you, Falcon fans. You're going to sell your tickets? You're going to give your tickets away?
Stay away from the dark
fans.
Stay away from the dark side.
You don't want to do that, Falcon fans. My season ticket holders in attendance. Big shout out to everybody in the chat. Big shout out to everybody listening. Big shout out to everybody watching. It's great to have another podcast here. Matter of fact, Terry, we might even do another one today. Because it's too much Falcons.
For the trifecta, man. Let's do it. By the way, what's up, Deshaun, Lisa, and John Pearson III, and Deshaun? What the hell, man? Nobody's going to get that, okay? Nobody's going to guess that, Deshaun. I know you're trying to stop us, but dang, man. Jeez.
Come on, Deshaun. What did an astronaut tell Falcons legend Tommy Nobis? Deshaun.
Come on, Deshaun. Does he get a flag? Or are we gonna let him live? Does he get a flag? Because come on, nobody's gonna guess that. Like you gotta guess. Are we giving him a flag or no?
Let me tell you something. I was about to say it's 9 something in the morning, like we're doing breakfast with One Time for the Fan. It's 12:34 in the afternoon.
Oh man,
12:43. Come on, man.
Nobody's gonna get that. Hey, you
gotta just ask a question about camp.
Oh my God.
Or Michael Penix. Or Kirk Cousins going 10 for 10 today in a couple of reps at camp today. Could you just ask that question? How Kirk Cousins do?
Well, I got to give it to him. At least he's creative, right? I don't think we'll ever see that question again on any other podcast.
I'm ready for some more music questions, Deshaun.
I don't mind the fact that if you want to keep it Falcons, brother, I'm good with that. I'm all about learning. It's fine, but give us a fighting chance, man. Like I try to have integrity, so I'm not going to look that up until we both agree that we're not going to get it. But
Just imagine Deshaun probably has his notes over there, and he's taking score of how many times he stomped us. You got us here, Deshaun. So he's probably going to put a W in the win column for him today. You got it, Deshaun.
bro, that's an ass whooping today.
He tried what was it? The first winning season in Falcons franchise history the other day. We got him on that one. But this one right here, he got us. I do not know what an astronaut. Does anybody know what an astronaut told Falcons legend Tom?
I have no idea, man. I mean, and again, I don't know if this is tongue in cheek or if this legitimate. I mean, well, look, NASA is not what it was back in the day. NASA in the 60s was a big thing. I mean, those guys were rock stars. So, Tommy Nobis was what, 60s, 70s, I think. So that seems to be about right, but I have no idea, man. I you know what? For the sake of the show, I'm gonna say something that I know is wrong, but I'm gonna say one small step for man, one giant step for Falcon kind. I don't know.
Some would say, don't believe what you see. Lisa Shepard's in the chat section 134.
134
is in the building. Checking in from Blogging Dirty, Lisa Shepard. John Person III is in the chat. Rise Up Tours in the chat. Checking in from Walmart land. Rise Up Brothers. Oh, he working.
I love Wally World.
He's on the clock. He's on the job.
I need to go there later on today. So
I mean, matter of fact, you are telling the truth about that. You need to go ahead and make a stop at Walmart. So, John, I appreciate it, man. You go ahead and get my grocery list together too as well, because it is a Falcon Friday. But we do have to prepare for tomorrow, Terry, because it's Falcons open practice. And I'm feeling it, man. The way Raheem's been talking, fans might be like, who's the fan on the field? That might be me. I said I would do it during the Super Bowl, but I don't know, man. I'm just so excited about this season that it might be tomorrow. Third party actions in the chat. You said we back.
We back.
We are back. I told y'all I'd be right back. I had to take care of something this morning. I didn't want to leave. Technically, if I would have never had to leave and go take care of what I had to take care of, we probably still be talking Falcons right now. Because there's so much to go over right now with the Atlanta Falcons.
Yes.
That's why we had to come back. I didn't want to wait till Sunday night to do this again. I wanted to make sure we can get in here, talk some Falcons. I know a lot of y'all either at work, on the way to work, on the way home from wherever you're going, the gym or running your errands, going to go work out, however. But you're here talking Falcons football with us, and that's what we love. So let's get straight to it when it comes to this training camp. Deshaun said the answer is he told him to sign with Houston.
Oh, wow.
Houston, we have a problem?
Yeah.
ATL Diva's in the chat. Hey, y'all. What's going on, ATL Diva? Big shout out to my good friend there. Georgia, Texas boys in the chat. Back again. What it do, Falcons family? Hey,
what up, Georgia, Texas boy? ATL Diva.
Falcon fans talking Falcons football on a Falcons Friday. I told y'all this is what we do here at One Time for the Fan. I told y'all that earlier this season, when the season getting ready to start, that One Time for the Fan is going to be ramping up more shows and getting y'all ready for the new year. And we are just totally prepared. Terry.
Yes, sir.
We didn't get a chance to really dive in much about yesterday's camp. Day one. Well, pretty much what this is what day. Well, the first day was media day, right? So the second day, they was out there on the field. That's when we had Mike Hughes out there playing cornerback. And so technically, you have what? This is technically day 2 of camp because they actually had the pads on, right? So let's say that.
Correct.
But for Falcon fans in the chat, we talked this morning about that cornerback 2 spot. We mentioned that when we come back to the podcast around 12:31, we'll see what is going on with Mike Hughes and Clark Phillips and who's in that role. It is apparent now, Mr. Terry, that Mike Hughes again for the second day is taking first team reps at cornerback 2. Your thoughts on Mike Hughes now going into day 2, being, I guess, looks like the starting corner.
Well, I mean, it could be. I don't know. Is there a time where maybe I mean, Rondell Moore is with the third team. You really think? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to think. I, I'd like to think that the competition isn't over the second day of training camp. So I mean, maybe he's getting reps with the ones, but I don't know that you can make that decision until you have to make the decision. What I will say is maybe he has the pole position. So to those of you who watch racing or those of you who don't watch racing, when you're in the pole position, that means that starting the race, you are the number one car. And you do that by qualifying. So before there's a race, and this is NASCAR, this is typically any professional racing league, agency, whatever. All the drivers have to drive around the track, and the best time is in the pole position. So maybe for the time being, Mike Hughes is in the pole position, but I definitely don't think the competition is over. It can't be second day of training camp. But maybe it's his to lose. I don't know. Those are my thoughts. What are yours, Jack? What do you say?
You are definitely right about that. For the Falcon fans that's looking at, is Mike Hughes going to be the CB2 going into the second day of camp here? Raheem just looks like he wants to get some work up out of everybody. I believe Clark Phillips had mentioned too as well. He's working on, playing that corner spot, and he's also working on playing nickel too as well. So it's good that you have guys that can move around. I know fans are a little bit worried that we didn't go sign nobody in the offseason who can really play alongside AJ. I mean, we had Casey Hayward a couple years ago. We had Jeff Okuda last year. They're no longer here in Atlanta, but Mike Hughes has been here for a while, and this looked like it might be his go. But we still have a couple more days of camp coming up. We have open to the public practice tomorrow. Then they have some more days of camp next week, and then they have the open to the practice at the Bend. So if we get to next week's podcast, Terry, if we get to next week, Wednesday's podcast, or even the podcast after the Ben's practice, and Mike Hughes is still taking starting reps, then I can probably say he's probably the guy going into the season. And they're trying to get the most out of him now so he can, work alongside AJ and get those first team reps. But if we come back next week now, Terry, Wednesday or next week, Friday at the practice, and Clark Phillips is taking first team reps, well, then there's a competition battle going on, right? But a lot of fans are pretty much looking at Mike Hughes possibly being the guy. You're not hearing Antonio Hamilton starting yesterday or today with the first team reps, or Kevin King, or even D. Offer. It's been Mike Hughes, right? So let's go back to yesterday first, Terry, before we even get to today's notes. Big shout out to the chat again. Deshaun says we need to have a one time for the fan event. One time for the fan events are pretty much same thing like the Rise Up Tour fan club events, because there's a lot of people that listen to the podcast that show up to the parties too as well. It's all Falcons related, So, Deshaun, if you want to show up, we do have a content creators meetup. I believe it's on the 17th of August. I can pull up the dates here for you shortly. If you want to come out and hang out, there's going to be a lot of other content creators and Falcon fans just watching the preseason game. They're going to be watching the Ravens game out there in Benchwarmers in McDonough. So any Falcon fan who wants to pull up, I'll get the information and drop it in the chat for you all. But if y'all want to come out and have a good time, that's what it is. Ricky Smith is in the chat too as well. Terry, I don't mean to block your face. I'm gonna go ahead and get you squared away over here. Bam, got you.
Man, I was getting ready to start doing this. I'm like, hold on, wait. What this morning? I didn't do nothing to him. Why is he mad at me? All right.
That presence of Bodie being here on the channel in the past, is getting ready to hit me. Like, go ahead and move that screen. But there is a Bodie sighting. I can say that. There's a Bodie sighting. So definitely want to pay attention to One Time for the Fans Instagram page, because we have a lot going on over there too as well. Ricky Smith said, "What's up, One Time for the Fan?" What's up, Ricky Smith? Big shout out to you in the chat. William Amy said, "Y'all just came back on, man. 2 shows, man, back to back."
What up, Ricky?
Back to back. But for the fans that was here this morning, for the fans that wasn't here this morning, we did do a quick podcast, and then I had to leave and take care of some stuff. I came right back so we can talk Falcons football again, because man, I'm so amped up. I can't wait, man. And then tomorrow's open practice. So let's go to yesterday's practice. right, Terry? Because we didn't get a chance to really dive into this,
We did not. So
right? And
now
let's
we
go. Now we get a chance to, and guess what? We have today's notes as well. So Terry, I hope you have something to drink, right? I hope you're relaxed because we're going to talk some Falcons football here for a while.
let's get into it, sir.
So everybody in the chat, tag your Falcon friends and tell your Falcons family, hey, you want something to do on this Falcons Friday? Come on over here and listen to One Time for the Fan. And also, if you're traveling to any away games this year, I have some information for you all, diehard Atlanta Falcon fans that want to travel to some away games. But big shout out to all the fans that also went to go watch Deadpool and Wolverine. Did you see the reviews of this, Terry? It's through the roof, man.
It is. It got great, but I knew it would be.
Deadpool again. Marvel does it again. So this weekend is actually what's up, Terry?
Ryan Reynolds is born to play that character, man.
Of course.
And of course, Wolverine and they just play well off each other because they are polar opposites, right? So yeah, it makes sense. And the writing is phenomenal.
Yes, and we're not dropping no spoilers because we are diehard Marvel fans.
That's right.
But the movie is great. I haven't got a chance to go see it yet, but of course, as a Marvel fan like myself, I had to dive into it a little bit and find out what's going on. And I'm glad Marvel's taking it to that direction. I mean, they did have Comic-Con the other day where they said that this is the mutant saga of their Marvel phase, so that lets you know where they're going with this. But yeah, Deadpool, Wolverine, that was, oh man, I can't wait to go see it. And now Falcons practice. Falcons open to the public practice tomorrow. Then you have, of course, Atlanta United's playing this weekend too as well. They play today. Sunday podcast. Practice resumes next week, and then we have Wednesday's podcast, and then open to the public practice at the Benz next week, where we're going to be live talking with the Falcon fans, hopefully getting a chance to speak with the coaches, speak with the players, because where we're going to be at, you definitely want to tune in to our Instagram page, because we're posting everything on the Instagram page, right? You won't see none on YouTube. You won't see none on the Facebook or Twitter. You want to head over to Instagram, One Time for the Fan. Oh, look at ESPN tweeting. Falcons get first look at Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins looked healthy, accurate, and Michael Penix Jr. showed off his elite arm. Okay, let's get. I need to go. ESPN's reporting on it. We got to report on it.
One thing, Jack. One thing.
What's up, brother?
You going to see Deadpool and Wolverine? Somewhere in your mind, it should click that in the last Wolverine movie, he died, which was Logan, which is old man Logan. This is a Wolverine from a different universe. Remember, Marvel introduced the multiverse. So this iteration of Wolverine is not from the 616 universe, which is the regular Marvel universe. He's from another universe. Just wanted to put that out there. Let's get to some Falcons. Let's go.
Falcon fans, Marvel fans, I'm glad you're here. Let's get straight to it. Big shout out to Mark Raimondi, who reports for the Atlanta Falcons. Posted some notes yesterday that social media going in on the Falcons right now. Let's go. Kirk Cousins, a video here. Okay. Yesterday's notes. He reports that the Falcons did mostly a jog through, as Grady Jarrett described it, and will ramp things up. Don't forget, it was the first day back for some of the players, and of course, Grady Jarrett coming back off of the injury. For those that saw the video today of him and Troy Anderson walking out of the locker room onto the field, Terry, that was great to see too as well. Jarrett is healthy, as he reported, as hoped, after tearing his ACL in week 8. He's good to go for practice with some modifications. Coach Raheem Morris saying Grady is Atlanta. Terry, true or false on what Raheem Morris is saying? Grady is Atlanta.
100% true, sir. 100% true. When I think of the Falcons, I think of Grady Jarrett. From that performance in the 2016 Super Bowl when he had 3 sacks and just dominated, to now. He's always represented the Falcons well, has a charity here, doing big things. Local boy from Atlanta. He is definitely Atlanta. Absolutely. 100%. What say you, Jack?
I totally agree. Grady Jarrett from Rockdale. He's put on for the city for such a long time, man. And of course, has an amazing family too as well. So big shout out to the family. But he works hard on and off the field. You might not hear a lot about him in the media or hear a lot about him in the social media or online, but Grady he's a great guy, man. So to get Grady a ring especially where he is in his career. Even Jake Matthews too, as well. We talked about this, Terry. To get those two guys, those two veterans, a ring, especially what they went through back in 2016, where they were so close. Just imagine being that player in those shoes, right? Just imagine what Grady's going through since that time of 2016 and dealing with the injury. Like he was moments away from a Super Bowl, and then his performance in the Super Bowl too, as well.
Yeah, it really was. And you know the ironic thing, both Jake and Grady are legacies.
Mm-hmm.
So when you get Grady a ring, you get Jesse Tuggle a ring.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You get Jake a ring. You get I think his dad and uncle played.
Mm-hmm.
One of them played for the Falcons. Did they not?
All the Matthews are showing up.
Yeah,
all the Matthews are showing up once Jake gets the ring.
Yeah. So I just think it'll be a great thing when they both get the ring, because I think a lot of people can put down the narrative that the Falcons can't do it, that Atlanta's cursed, that whatever you want to insert there, it's going to exercise some demons when we finally do win that ring. It's going to free a lot of folks who have been carrying around this weight of ineptitude, this weight that we can't do it. When that magical, majestical moment happens, oh my God, it's just, I can feel my dad, right? My mom, yeah, she watched the Falcons because I did, but I just see my dad just smiling, you know what I mean? Wherever he is in the great beyond. And I think it'll be a great thing. And I think, you think Jesse Tuggle isn't going to be happy we win the Super Bowl? You think he's not going to be ecstatic? I mean, dude, you're talking about generations. So I just can't wait. And I think Grady deserves it. But I think Grady is not just doing it for him. I know, as great as his dad was for the Falcons, I thought Clay's dad did. Oh, Clay's dad did. You're right. My bad. Because that's Jake's uncle. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry about that.
There's a lot of Matthews, and don't not Dave Matthews. We ain't talking about Dave Matthews.
Yeah.
Not the band.
Yeah. But no, they both deserve it, man, and I can't wait for it to happen. So
yeah. Also going on to report that Kirk Cousins plans to buy his sons Cooper and Turner 2 Falcon jerseys this year, and we mentioned Grady being Atlanta. Well, like Raheem said, Kirk is going to be buying Grady Jarrett and Jesse Bates jerseys for the kids. So that's just great to see. I mean, those are Jesse Bates. You see what he's done in the NFL. And then Grady Jarrett, man, just 2 outstanding players. And I'm glad to have them here in Atlanta, because they are going to take that defense to the next level. One on the defensive line, one in the secondary. Also, this is big, Falcon fans. And for you fantasy folks, this is big. And for you folks that's listening and watching, drop your section in the chat if you're a season ticket holder. Bring your questions, bring your comments about the Falcons training camp, about the upcoming season, away games, home games, the fan base, anything. We're going to talk about it here on One Time for the Fan. Falcon fans talking Falcons football on a Falcons Friday. This is big here, Terry. Kirk Cousins is staying in the same room with not only Taylor, the backup, and Michael Penix, but Kyle Pitts. It's funny how you look at some of these rooms. Remember last year we talked about Ritter with Drake? They was rooming together. And they're like, oh, that connection is going to be special. Man, were we wrong. And then you're looking at Kirk Cousins now. Michael Penix in a situation where he's in the room, same room with Kyle Pitts for training camp. Terry, how big is this that you're going to have your veteran quarterback, your rookie quarterback in a room with pretty much your, number 2 receiver, if some fans look at it, the way the targets might be going this season between him and Drake. But how big is it to have your starting quarterback room with one of your star players, especially like Kyle Pitts?
I think it's really big, man. I think it builds continuity. You know what I mean? Like you'd be surprised at what happens when you're around a person long enough, right? Like case in point, I'm around you all the time. So the other day I'm talking to my wife and I go, it went down, Kim, in a major way. And I caught myself. And I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing? Right. But I'm around you so much and I hear certain things so much, it just comes out. You know what I mean? I told you I said a thou wow the other day. She's like, what the hell are you saying? I was like, whatever. So yeah, I think it feels. Yeah, I did. I said a thou wow, Kim. She's like, what are you talking? I was like, never mind. But I think through being around each other, it builds trust, it builds chemistry, it builds continuity. Most of the teams that win in any sport, they're comfortable around each other. They have chemistry. You know what I mean? No, there are some exceptions every now and then. I believe the Oakland Athletics of the '70s hated each other, and they won 3 championships in a row. But that's an outlier. For the most part, if you win together, you have chemistry. You got to at least like each other a little bit. There's got to be some magic going on in that locker room. I'm not saying we got to be buddy buddy and go out to dinner every day, but there's got to be some sort of continuity, some sort of chemistry. And I think this is a good thing. I think Kyle, to me, he's always seemed to be mature beyond his years. And I think he kind of conducts himself like an elder statesman. And I think it's good that you have Kyle and Kirk in a room, and as well as Michael Penix, because they're essentially all leaders on the team. Those are my thoughts. What do you think, Jack?
It's big, man. When you talk about chemistry and that 2016 team, it felt like a lot of players were on the same page on and off the field.
Yeah.
You can see that when Dan Quinn brought that brotherhood, put that in play. I don't think we have that type of theme going on here right now with the brotherhood. I mean, we're not talking about that, but Raheem has definitely brought some players together where, these guys trust each other. These guys can communicate with one another. Even the rookies are getting, a lot of experience and a lot of assistance from some of the veterans that's ahead of them, with Berling Trice and Rook, working with Grady Jarrett and working with, even Arnold Ebiketie, who's helping with some of these guys too as well, because he just came back from a pass rush camp in the summer too as well. But the chemistry is everything, man. And you saw that when we went to the Super Bowl back in 2016. And that's the feeling I need back now, right? You saw players on plays where even when you thought this game would be a tough one when we went up against Seattle, or this game would be a tough one going up against the Packers, it really wasn't. That team was perfectly sound. The way that they played together, the way that they communicated. Matt Ryan was talking about execution that year, how he was trusting what the coordinators were telling him, how he was trusting what the coaches were telling him, because they built something. And to have Kyle Pitts and Kirk Cousins and Michael Penix in that same room, and shout out to Taylor Heineke too, we're not throwing him under the bus, but to have, your starting quarterback work with Kyle Pitts, it's been going on since the offseason when, they were texting each other about, coming over here to Atlanta, and then the number that Kyle was going to use and he was going to use. Now they're in the same room. But Kurt is going to get the ball to Kyle. We know that. And it's going to be a fantastic year, I think, for Kyle this season. But they can start working early, right? This is the offseason. This is the part of training camp where you want these guys to be in the right space. You want these guys to be understanding one another. I think Kurt talked about it too as well, Terry, when he mentioned he went back to go watch Kyle Pitts' film, right? Earlier this year when he talked about that to the media. He also wasn't Kyle part of the group that went down to John Gruden's house with Kurt?
Yes.
So you see they're working on something that's tight. I'd love to see Drake London too as well in that that housing unit. But then again, that's the way that Raheem and the team set it up. So it's good to have Kurt and Kyle and those guys, especially Michael Penix too as well, because Penix is learning from Kirk Cousins. He's a young quarterback. But then as well, he's learning from a guy that he might be working with this season if that time comes. So that's good to have Kyle Pitts, Michael Penix, and Kirk Cousins in the room. But this is also big, Terry. They don't have college football, EA Sports, NCAA 25 yet. They don't have it in the locker room. And now this game is doing numbers right now, Terry. Everybody's playing this NCAA 25.
It's doing really big numbers, man.
Terry, are you playing it?
I'm not playing it, sir, because I got so many things going on right now, and I just have not been able to get to it. But rest assured, I'm going to be honest with you. I have kids.
Mm-hmm.
My kids, for whatever, they feel like my stuff is their stuff. It's just funny how kids are, right? So my son, I brought him a PlayStation 5, which I would play, every now and then. He moved. He took it with him. And my oldest daughter said, "Hey, Dad, can I borrow your PlayStation 4?" This was 3 months ago. I've not gotten it back. So
Yeesh.
I don't think I'm going to get it back. right? And she's my daughter. I'm not gonna go and be like, So first thing I got to do is buy a new system, and then I'll be able to get back into it. But hey, man, looking forward to it, and I just it's so funny how just things have to fall in place for you, right? Like number one, you're going to be a winning organization. Obviously, you got to have a good coach.
Mm-hmm.
Good coach. Got to have a coach who communicates. Got to have a good staff. Now, a good coach without a good coach without a good staff, and a good coach and good staff without good players, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not only do you have to have that, you have to have chemistry. But not only do you have to have that, you have to have a little luck involved, right? And I'll tell you what I mean. In '98, when the Falcons went to the Super Bowl, they faced a daunting Vikings team.
Mm-hmm.
But they faced Randall Cunningham at the end of his career. And he could not put that ball out there as far as he did when he was younger.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be honest with you. If they had faced Randall Cunningham first 4 or 5 years in the league, that game's not even.
Would have been a different game.
Or a totally different game.
Mm-hmm.
There were at least 3 or 4 incidents where they went long and Randy's waiting for the ball. And Bishop, the safe, I call him Bishop, whatever. He was a preacher or whatever. But he literally has time to run up under it and knock it down.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing that saved us. If we'd have faced, Randall Cunningham back in the day, Falcons would have lost by 20 points. But again, that was luck, right? So, I'm just saying, I see 3 of the 4 components. You got a good coach, you got a good staff, you got some really good players, you got a coach who knows what he's doing, and you got guys you're trying to develop a chemistry with. So I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing to put all 3 of your quarterbacks in the room, and for Kyle Pitts to be in that room, they think very highly of him because he wouldn't be in that room otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think it's a good thing.
Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. James Smith-Williams saw a lot of first team reps too as well. That's a player that we mentioned has a high motor, came over from Washington. He caught a lot of snaps with Washington, playing alongside Allen and Payne too as well. So learning from both of those experience, the defensive lineman now coming over here. Still a young player in the league too as well, James Smith-Williams. And now he gets the chance to get a lot of reps here, and pretty much get active with this first team unit. But yes, he did get some reps yesterday at camp. So we'll go ahead and check the notes shortly on day 2 and see what he did today. But no college football in the locker room yet. But I must say, Terry, I smacked somebody so bad yesterday in NCAA. Bad. And I broke the code, Terry.
Did Ike Turner him?
I had to. I broke the code, man.
Anime.
You know I'm a diehard Georgia fan, man. But there's a couple leagues where people are just calling me out, like, man, you get in this league. You over there saying you good. You over saying you this, you that. Just pick any team. Stop with this Georgia stuff. We got a bunch of Georgia fans in here. Just join the league. I said, I bet. So let's run the draft. So they did like a little draft to find out who would be, in the orders. It was 32 teams. So I got the number 4 pick. So I picked Ohio State.
Wait, take a step back because Georgia wasn't there, right?
Georgia was selected before me.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that was the guy who pissed me off. He waited about 30, 45 minutes in the chat before he even made the selection. And then when he made it, it was Georgia. And I was like, this guy's pissing me off. I went ahead and selected Ohio State, but man, I had buddy 35-0 yesterday. 35-0. After dude kept rushing me to play, I'm like, come on, bro, you trying to play at 7:30, you trying to play at 8:30, you trying to play at 9, you trying to play at 9:30. I said, bro, I'm taking care of some stuff. I'll hit you up when I'm ready, bro. Like, chill. Like, people got lives, bro. The league don't advance till Saturday, bro. Like, chill.
You know what? I've never seen anybody run to an ass whooping. I've seen people run from an ass whooping.
Yeah.
Yesterday, he ran to an ass whooping. Like, he begged you for it. He just ran up. All right. Anyway, go ahead.
I mean, it is what it is when it comes to playing NCAA, man. But I try to give people their time and their space, and go practice, go do something. You know what I'm saying? When I get the control in my hand, it's over. I don't have to do nothing. Just load up. You're gonna get this work, but you might need some time. And I tell people that. But I was trying to be respectful to the dude yesterday, but he kept getting out of line, he kept tagging me in the chat. And then, I'll post some of the comments here in a second, but it was bad, man. It was bad, But hey, that's what NCAA college football 25 can do to you, man. Rondell Moore, this is big right here because we thought Rondell Moore would be, with the first team unit, getting some snaps out the way early so that way we can get this team ready to head down to Miami for the preseason game. But Rondell Moore looks to be with the third and the fourth team, which could open up the doors for your boy, Casey Washington, right? It could open up the door for Isaiah Wooden, too, as well. That was a name that we mentioned that could possibly move up and make the 53. Could open the door for Ray, right, to get more in there, or even Cordell Hodge. But to see Rondell Moore, a guy that was traded for during the season, during the offseason for Desmond Ridder, who was our starting quarterback, he's with the third and the fourth team. I thought this trade was going to work out to at least have Rondell Moore early in training camp with the first team. But that seems to be not the case. Terry, Rondell Moore, we talked about it, these past couple podcasts here before leading up to training camp that he possibly could be the 3 or he could be the 4 receiver on the depth chart. Not working with the third and fourth team. Like that's down the line. Hell, you might be looking at 5th or 6th receiver. Hell, you might even be fighting for a spot here if that seems to be the case. Terry, Rondell Moore, man, your thoughts on that?
Well, we don't know the internal dialogue that's going on.
We sure don't. It is the second day of camp, so we're just going off of the notes from what we see. And big shout out to Mark Raimondi, who reports these notes here for the Atlanta Falcons. Last year it was Michael Rothstein, but big shout out to Mark. Big shout out to all the journalists who report these notes. But we're just talking about what we see, right?
What I'll say to that, my grandmother had 10 kids, had a whole bunch of grandkids, and I heard her say, at one time, you have to manage people differently, right? She remarked, one of my boys was cocky, and she's talking about one of her sons, and she basically said, I had to be hard on him. Even when he was right, sometimes I was hard on him because he needed that. So I don't know if this is a situation where they feel like this young man could do with some humble beginnings. I don't know if this is a situation where they feel like maybe he would be a big help to Penix. Maybe in him training, it would be good. We don't know the scenario. We don't know. We don't know why people, you know what I mean? Because a lot of times you're not in the room. You don't know. We could read into it, but I've just learned over the years, we'll see. You know what I mean? He very well could be on the third team, but I don't know why you trade for him in that capacity and then throw him with the 3s. But again, I don't know. You know what I mean? I wasn't there for the voluntary workouts or mandatory workouts. You don't know the dialogue that's happened. And I hate to read anything. I know that Rondell was not happy with his tenure in
Arizona.
I should say he wasn't happy, but he did not like the way he was utilized. He felt like all they did was throw him screens, wide receiver screens, and there was so much more he could do on the route tree. And, again, one thing I've gotten from you, Jack, that I really appreciate is you're always positive. So, I'm going to be positive in this sense, and I'm going to say, we don't know. You know what I mean? Rondell Moore, from what I've seen, is a dynamic talent. And we don't know. He could be the 3. He could be the 4. He could be the 5. I'll tell you what, man, it's a good problem to have, right? We have so much talent and we have a diversity of talent. So we have different guys that can do different things. You just don't know. I'm undecided where that's concerned. I mean, again, and, to be honest with you, this is my first camp where I'll be going and seeing them live. And, so I'm looking forward to evaluating them and seeing that. But I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't like to read into things. And that brings up a question to me. How often is it that somebody starts with a group of 3 or 2 and they end up starting? You know what I mean? And maybe that's something we should research for our next show. But anyway, enough of what I think. What are your thoughts, Jack?
You have a situation where It's not something that needs to be heavy on the minds of all Falcon fans of where is Rondo Moore going to be on this depth chart.
Right.
I was expecting him to be working with the first team, but like you said, we don't know. This is only day 2. Maybe this is what Raheem and them is rolling out early.
Right.
Saturday, tomorrow, we'll be there. We see something different. Next week, Rondo Moore's back with the first team. We're not just going to go ahead and say, oh, he's off the 53. Don't even count him there. Let's bring somebody else in. No. Right. What Raheem seems to be doing is working on some guys in different areas. And I'm perfectly fine with it. James Smith-Williams, we haven't mentioned him much on the channel. Then again, he has, as you can see here, got some reps with the first and second teams ahead of Zach Harrison. That's what we that's what we see. Rook and Braylon Trice, the only 2 rookies to get reps with the first and second teams, and Trice also seeing time at linebacker. So for Falcon fans that we're questioning where are these guys going to fit in? Are these guys going to be starters? Are going to be rotation pieces? I mean, we know they're going to be on the 53, but they're getting reps with the first and second team. Zion hasn't been reported getting work with the first and second team, or even J.D. Bertram too as well. Captain America hasn't been reported to as well. That was yesterday's report. Mike Hughes and Richie Grant got reps with the first team. Remember, fans were talking about Richie shouldn't even be in the backfield back there with Jesse Bates. But as they started camp yesterday, Richie Grant was on the field. So Falcon fans, that was yesterday's notes, right? Terry, let's go to today's notes.
Let's do it.
Because we didn't get a chance to really speak on much yesterday, this morning's podcast, but now we're here talking Falcons football again. So let's do it. Kirk Cousins today went 15 of 16 during 11 on 11 drills against the Falcons' second team, giving the ball to 8 different receivers. Matt Ryan? Is that a Matt Ryan sighting? Giving the ball to 8 different receivers. He even scrambled 10 yards for a touchdown. Oh, I thought he was limping. I thought he's not 100%.
That's what they said.
He scrambled 10 yards for a touchdown. Wait, he's mobile? Let me find out. That's why the Falcons didn't call me. Now I know why. I know why with the 80 on the run.
Now you know.
He did it for 10 yards. I threw the 80-yard on the run. But still, Cousins.
On the run.
Cousins scrambled for 10.
No. Do a dot. Just you get Michael Vick on. Getting his Michael Vick on.
Sheesh.
30 degrees in the snow. Through it.
We're talking about the pass on NFL Network that Caleb Williams threw yesterday. I threw a way better pass than that. Kirk Cousins scrambled for 10 yards for a touchdown during a red zone drill. No contact still as well for Kirk Cousins. Don't hit the guy. You know what I'm saying? But Darnell Mooney also was a big target too as well. He caught 5 passes today. Drake London, who stepped away for a couple plays. Apparently, the heat was getting him too as well. This ain't Cali, Drake. You know that. But it also was a nice, cool day out there. But then Flowery Branch is a little bit different weather than where we are in Atlanta. So big shout out to Drake London. He'll be back. So don't worry about that, y'all Falcon fans. He'll be good. Kyle Pitts and Tyler Algier also had 2 catches today too as well. The best throw of the day was Kirk Cousins to Ray McLeod. So big shout out to Ray McLeod. They said it was about a 50-yard pass. Wait a minute. Hold on. When was the last time we seen a quarterback throw 50 yards? Falcon fan, let's take a moment of silence for a 50-yard pass at training camp. We're back. We are back. That's right. The best throw of the day was on a go route to Ray, the speedster, who looked to be about 50 yards, Terry. Kirk Cousins? Terry?
Dot.
Did you do the dance? Did you do the Kirko frame? The Kirko Frost? There it is. The Kirko Frost. 50-yard dot to Ray McLeod. Also getting pressure from who? Your boy Debo. Big shout out to Debo. D'Angelo Malone is in the building. Good to have his name in any type of notes early in training camp. Pressuring Kirk Cousins. Now, if that was in the game, Western Kentucky sack leader, all-time sack leader, probably would have got there. But we didn't get a chance to see much of that because Arthur Smith wanted him to play a different role. pass here. Quarterback Michael Penix took the second team snaps against the first team. I heard about that today. Heard he was carving them up. Despite Coach Raheem Moore saying Thursday that he would split those with Taylor Heineke. Michael Penix taking the field today. Went 7 of 12 in 11 on 11 drills. Had 2 eye-catching passes. A back shoulder throw to Rondell Moore. There's your boy Rondell. There he is. We talked about – wait a minute, Terry. 10 minutes ago, he's over there on the far field. If you're at camp on the hill, he's over there. Y'all looking around at the numbers like, where's Rondell? He over there. He on the backfield with the 3s and the 4s. But guess where he was today, Terry? He was out there with Penix, lighting up the doggone defense. Back shoulder throw to Rondell Moore, 55-yard dot. Wait a minute. 250-yard throw? Oh, my God. We about to air it out. Oh, my God. Michael Penix, Kirk Cousins, man, let's get it. Couple drop passes, too, as well. But that's okay. That's what happens at camp. Pitts, still in the same dorm as Cousins, Penix, and Heineke. They're having a lot of conversations. They go to bed around 9:30 p.m., which is good because, you know, we're not doing none of that Odell Beckham stuff. We're not there partying and all that stuff. David Onyata, stand out, getting penetration against the second-team offensive line, including a few hurries and a potential sack of Michael Penix. So as you can see, David is out there showing off in camp. Taekwon is out there having a good camp so far too as well. Arnold Ebiketie and Berlin Trice spent a lot of time with the first and second teams at Edge today at camp. Grady Jarrett did not participate in 11 on 11 drills. Remember, there was some modifications to Grady coming back and working with the units. So, you know, it'll take some time, but Grady will be out there 100%. Probably by do you think we'll see Grady in the Miami Dolphins game?
No.
Do you think we'll see Grady this preseason?
No.
Okay. Quarterback Mike Hughes and safety Richie Grant got most of the reps with the first team defense. And once again, James Smith-Williams was out there again. Falcon fans, if you're looking for a guy to probably give you, you know, that random 5 to 10 sack season, it might be James Smith-Williams. Low key, we talked about Trice and his pressures, what he did in college, and Braylon Dorless and Rook and Grady and David. That's beautiful. That's amazing. But James Smith-Williams has a high motor coming from Washington, especially, I keep mentioning it, playing alongside Daron Payne and Jonathan Allen. Like that Washington defensive front they were after it.
We're like that.
They were like that. So now that you have James with Grady and David and Braylon and Rook, this is big. One thing I haven't seen in 2 days of these notes, Terry, I didn't see nothing about Zion. Haven't seen nothing about J.D. Bergstrom. Haven't seen nothing about D. Alford. Haven't seen nothing about Antonio Hamilton or Harrison Hand, any of these other players. So I will try to do my best by Sunday night's podcast to have somebody here or reach out to somebody that can give us some notes or some information on what is going on with some of these players. We just went through 2 days of notes. No Casey Washington information too as well. I'm sure he was out there working still with the first team unit and the second team units and with the rookies and so on. But still, we want to hear all this type of information. But Mark does a great job reporting for the Atlanta Falcons. So definitely head on over to Mark's page, man. Hit that follow button for Mark. You can see it right there, Atlanta Falcons beat reporter at ESPN. So big shout out to Mark, man, for reporting everything Atlanta Falcons. Terry, 2 days of Atlanta Falcons training camp is in the books. Everything's smooth. Drake London seems to be the only one that was a little, a little hot out there. Everybody else seems to be good. But Falcon fans, tomorrow. You know what it is, Terry? It's going down.
It's going down in a major way, Jack.
In a major way. The Atlanta Falcons open to the public practice is tomorrow at 6 p.m. Once again, Falcon fans, this is not a ticketed event. Excuse me. This is not a ticketed event, so you want to be out there. Get out there early. Tell your Falcons friends. This is your chance to go see Michael Penix. This is your chance to go see Kirk Cousins. And it's out there in Beaufort, so it's a little ways away from Atlanta. But still, if you're heading out there, that traffic's going to be crazy because the Gwinnett County crowd of Falcon fans that's near that facility, near the Flowery Branch area, they show up. So I'm telling you right now, if you pulling up there at 5:55 trying to get that front row, it ain't happening, right? So definitely try to be out there as early as you can. But Terry, we're gonna have a great time tomorrow, man. But you want to check that Instagram one time for the fan page because we're gonna be posting a lot from that location. So Terry, 2 days of camp wrapped up. You got some information about what's going on out there with a couple of the players, and I'm sure by Sunday night we'll find out a whole lot more. But what's your thoughts already on the first 2 days? Quick review of the first 2 days of camp for you.
I think people are just getting to know each other, and that includes coaches and players. And look, man, they're just let's match this guy with this guy. Let's see how they work. You know what I mean? We don't know the method behind the madness, but I have trust in this organization. I have trust in this coaching staff, and I know that they will do everything they can to maximize. So I'm looking forward to it. As far as Grady playing, if you're not going to play the quarterback of your offense because he's coming back from an Achilles in preseason, you're probably not going to play the quarterback of your defense because he's coming off ACL. So I would now again, defense may be different. I don't know, but I'd like to imagine that Grady would not be playing. You know what I mean? But I mean, we'll see. But as far as everything else, hey man, looking forward to it. You know what I mean? I want to enjoy the process, and I think we're going to, and I think this Falcons team is going to be dynamic. But this is something that they have to do. They got to come together. You got to find what works. You know what I mean? This first week could be about, okay, well, who plays well with who? You know what I mean? We've all played football before. There's some guys you just mix with. You know what I mean? There's some guys. I played baseball, played softball. I played softball with this one guy. I was in left center. He was in right center. In softball, there are 10 guys, so there are 4 outfielders. But that's the best guy I ever played with. I did not have a great arm. He had a cannon. I could go get it. He could go get it. We played well off each other. And we won whenever we played together. Like, I don't think we ever lost. And it was just because of that. So the Falcons are trying to see what they have on the field because there's off the field chemistry, but there also is on the field chemistry, guys that just play well together. You know what I mean? So I think this entire camp is about that. Let's see how we play individually, but let's also see collectively how these guys play together so we can get the best output from all 53 guys. Those are my thoughts.
Terry, your boy Mooney's wide open. What?
Boom.
Your boy Mooney is wide open. Again. Kirk Cousins.
Well,
some footage from camp. Big shout out to the Atlanta Falcons for posting this too as well.
The streets say he's always open.
Shit.
That's, you know what I mean? He's like Quick Trip, man. He's always open. He's always open. So, and he was number 1 at always. All receivers are always open. Let's be real. Even when they're not open, they're open. But he literally was the best at being open in 2023. So I gotta believe that. I honestly think Mooney is your sleeper. You know what I mean? Like I think Drake's gonna be great. I think Kyle's gonna be great, but I'm not gonna be Drake. He's gonna be great. But
Sheesh.
I also think that Mooney is going to be Mooney's gonna get a lot of passes because Mooney's gonna be open. And I really feel like, wow, okay. I'm telling y'all, man, we got so many weapons. We have so many weapons. And I think the running game is going to benefit from these, as you say, 50-yard bombs, because that's not the first, second, or third that we're going to see. So, yeah, I'm excited about it, man. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing 3rd and 5 and Kirk throws an out to Mooney, which, by the way, I really feel like Mooney.
Your 3rd and 5s, you're more confident this year. Yes or no? Your 3rd downs, you're more confident in what you can do to get the first down.
I'm confident on 4th down. I'm confident on any down.
I got teams watching us probably thinking they can run it with Bijan on a 3rd and 3. third and you saw last year, we even pushed Bijan at a couple downs on third down to do screen routes and flat routes and quick toss. The Arizona play when he got the 11 yards on the third down, like, why did we call that? But sure enough, Bijan made it happen. You have so much to look for this year where a team's going to scout us and say, how do we match up on these guys?
You can't match up.
I mean, there's fans from other teams that's going to, promote these third and second year guys from the Seahawks and the Giants and the Cowboys that we play. But outside of Michael Parsons for the Cowboys, outside of, some couple players for the Bucks, Kyle's going to eat, man. Drake's going to eat. You can't match up on some of these guys.
I think we're going to eat in every game. I think our offense is going to 30 points a game because the only way you can beat us, you can't cover everybody. So the only way you can beat us is you're going to have to get to that quarterback as quick as you can. And I think that Kyle, being a 13-year veteran, Kirk, being a 13-year veteran, is going to see stuff coming. And all right, you hear. Like, that's what he does.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't. I think you stop us by outscoring us, but we're going to put 30 up on you. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You're not, because we got too many weapons.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, think about it. We had the triplets already here, ready-made. We had them already here. You know what I mean? You got Kyle, you got Bijan, you got Drake. You added Mooney, who's not a whole lot of people are talking, but is a stud. Could arguably be a number one somewhere else in a couple of other locations. So you have two number one receivers. You got Pitts, who's number 1.5. We're not even getting into Rondell and Ray and everybody else. This team's gonna eat, man. They're gonna put up 30 points a game, at a minimum 28.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not going to stop them. You're not going to. We're going to score our 28. Will you score more? That remains to be seen. But you're not going to stop us because you can't cover everybody. You know what I mean?
Last year, having too many weapons seemed to be a problem. I know some fans have pointed that out. Could have been too many weapons for Desmond. He's a young guy. You don't have him in the right system. Too many weapons for Kurt is not a problem. It actually fits well.
No,
because Kurt knows how to use these weapons, man. He's been around some talented players. He's also helped, with Justin Jefferson where he is, even Jordan Addison a bit of last season too as well. In the past, working with receivers over there and in Washington. So Kurt can make Drake London, a step better this year. He can make Kyle Pitts a step better this year because we saw that, the past couple of years at quarterback, it was tough. But I think we have our trust in Kurt now that we see him 2 days into camp. But he's not playing in the preseason. Some fans did mention that in the chat. Big shout out to Auntie Pam here in the chat too as well. Georgia Texas boys said, but fans want us to play him in the preseason. Perfectly fine with him not playing in the preseason. I know the injury is pretty big to come back from, and you want to be at 100%. I think he is at 100%, but I don't need to see him against Miami, right? I don't need to see him against Jacksonville and who else? Baltimore. Some of those players that's going up against Kurt won't even make that team. So, I need to.
About that in an earlier interview, and he said, "Look, I've been in the league 13 years, so it's not worth the risk to put him in a preseason game." And I think it's good that Kurt, because I saw this article today where they were like, "Oh, Kirk's not happy with this or whatever." Look, any quarterback worth his salt is going to want to play. Any quarterback worth his salt is going to want to play in the preseason. I get it. But he's too important to the organization. So I understand, hey, that's Raheem being a dad, okay, on the team. Oh, Dad, I want to go out and, I know I have exams tomorrow, but I want to go out and party till 3:00. No, son. No, you're not going to. You're going to go to sleep because you need to pass this exam because you need to get to college. And what Raheem is saying is, I know you want to play. I know you want to work on your timing. But I'm trusting that you're good enough. I'm trusting that your understanding of the game is good enough. I'm trusting that your understanding of defenses and that your ability is good enough to bypass the preseason because your presence is too important to this team. He's being a leader, which is, this is going to sound like a shot, and maybe it is, but it's what Dan Quinn should have done in the Super Bowl when we got that ball on the, hey, Kyle, stop it, right? We're going to kneel. Mm-hmm. We're going to kneel 3 times and kick this ball, okay? I don't care what we've done to this point. It's getting out of hand. We go up by 2 scores here. It's 4 minutes left. We're probably gonna win the game. This is what we're gonna do. Okay. Matter of fact, cut his mic off. Matt, kneel 3 times. Okay. Thanks. Let's kick the field goal. Right. That's what Dan Quinn should have done. Right. There are a lot of parents out here that try to be your kid's friend, and there's a time for that. But there's also a time when you've got to lay down the law and be a parent, and that's what Raheem's doing. Raheem said, "Look at the bigger picture." You know what I mean? I don't have an issue with it. I don't have an issue with it at all. Yeah, man. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited.
We do have some more updated information from camp. Your boy Eddie Kane Jr. was on the field today.
Yeah, I saw that. Eddie Kane Jr. He was with
your boy Eddie Goldman was on the pitch today. Apparently, Say Which Way, who was out there reporting for the Falcons too as well. He said, seeing some snaps with Zach Harrison lined up on the interior next to Eddie Goldman. Of course, you know, James Smith-Williams getting a lot of the first team reps too as well, ahead of Zach. So I'm guessing Eddie must have been around that second team unit. Don't know. If he works that first team unit, they'll report it everywhere, I'm sure. Eddie Goldman is with the first team unit. So we'll say that he's probably with the second or third team unit right now until we can get some full confirmation. I can probably try to reach out to Daniel Flick and see, because I know Daniel was out there doing some great reporting for the Atlanta Falcons yesterday and today too as well. He also Say Which Way also reported that he saw Rook next to Zach Harrison, seeing a lot more of Zach Harrison early on today than he did yesterday. Of course, that interior with Zach Harrison, Rook, Grady, Eddie Goldman, wherever these guys can fit in, man, let's get something going. Because I know Raheem wants to get the best out of these guys. When it comes to, you know, you lost 2 guys last year. You lost 2 guys this year that had 12 sacks, right? So fans are like, where are we getting these 12 sacks from, right? Arnold Ebiketie going to do it. D'Angelo Malone's going to do it. Zoe Carter's going to do it. We also got to ask some questions about that. Where is Zoe Carter too as well? So let me try to reach out to Daniel, see if we can get him on here Sunday to come talk some Falcons. I know he's super busy. Like, I chatted up with him the other day, but he is super, super busy, especially with camp being back now. But tomorrow, it's going to be great. I'm sure they will all be out there. So maybe we can just find out tomorrow. Terry, hell with Sunday. Let's just find out tomorrow what's going on with some of these guys.
Let's do it. Let's
do it. So let's do it for one time for the fan. I know the fans in the chat want to know, hey, Jack, find out about Casey Washington. Find out about Clark Phillips. Find out about Rook and Braylon Trice. Tomorrow we going to do that. So Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Say Which Way also reporting they're mixing and matching the secondary a bit, but Clark Phillips is present on the Kirk Cousins field. Though Mike Hughes looks like he's the one out there with the full assortment of the ones. So as you can see, people are reporting that, Mike Hughes. I mean, Clark Phillips is still nearby, but Mike Hughes possibly seems to be the guy who could be the cornerback too. Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Let's go to the chat. Chat, how y'all feel about training camp? How are y'all feeling right now? Matter of fact, how y'all feeling about the season being back? Like, that little break we had, it's on and popping now. Practice yesterday, practice today, open practice tomorrow, more resumes next week, and then another practice at the Benz next week, and then the following week, those guys are down in Miami, man. It's going down in a major way. Pamela Johnson's in the chat. Auntie Pam is in the chat. She said that Georgia Heat ain't no joke.
No, it's not. It'll choke you.
Shout out to Drake London, man. We want to make sure you are good, man. Get back to being 100%. Don't let that heat get you down. Sip thoughts that I'm glad we back in training camp. Time to work those kinks out. I'd like to see some potential Wildcat formation from Penix. Now, you saw a little bit of what they tried to do with Desmond Ridder last year. We're working some of his Cincinnati-style plays into the playbook. Maybe we can see that with Michael Penix when he does get ready to take over at quarterback. But then again, who would the offensive coordinator be? Are they preparing something for Michael Penix and Kirk Cousins? I mean, they're still the same style quarterback. Michael Penix wants to stand in the pocket.
Right.
You know, he'll get after it if he has to. But from what I've seen in Washington, that man wants to stand in the pocket. That's why they kind of got him to kind of back up Kirk. The playbook will be similar if both of them get into the game. You just got a guy that's mobile now. But don't forget about Kirk. He ran for 10 yards today. He scrambled today. He was scrambling like them eggs at Waffle House that Terry was at this morning. Scramble, Terry. You scrambling it up.
Scramble.
I guess. But
Scramble.
scramble it up. Terry,
Oh,
this morning you was stirring the pot this morning. Now,
yeah.
Terry, how
That's
you
big
scrambling?
as a pot. Like
You got to scramble now, like you got Gucci Man scramble. You got to scramble it.
that would be more scrambling, right? You got to toss it and scramble it. This is
What's
stirring the pot. That's a pot.
man?
It's
We trying to
scramble.
scrape the. We trying to scrape it, man. Like
Yeah,
Gucci them,
gotta
like
whip it,
OJ the Juice Man, man.
scramble it, and all that stuff, man. You gotta do it. Oh, Johnson said Huddle House, man. Oh, okay. We
Huddle
have
House.
oh, that's what Johnson said.
Just do something tricky. Hey, let me tell you something. Trick plays. Haven't seen much of those in Atlanta over the years. But if you can fit those in somewhere when you're up 35 in the second quarter, fit it in. You know.
And you
Matter of fact,
shout out to
there's a
Philip.
quarterback named Jack Spade. You can call him,
Oh wow.
have him active on game day. Other teams don't know who's Jack Spade. Why did they sign him? Then I come in and I do the 80 on the run. If you guys don't know, that's that magical play that got me to where I am like today. So, big shout out to everybody out there. Georgia Texas boys said, I'm also glad everyone reported to training camp and there's no holdouts. That's another thing. Falcon fans, let's talk about that. There are teams who have players who are starting who are not reporting to camp because they need the bread. They need the where's your bread? They want the money, right? If you don't have the money, they're not reporting to camp. I think one of them still in Japan right now. He's cosplaying. He ain't even trying to play football. He's doing Dragon Con every day of the week. He's dressing up.
CD Lamb is holding out, right?
A couple players are holding out. So
yeah, but I know CD is.
None of that stuff here in Atlanta. And guess what? Outside of Drake, people are healthy on the second day of practice. I think you guys see around the league, a couple players got injured from their camps too as well. And some fights. There was no fights, right? Even I think somebody reported there was an argument today. They heard some people shouting, but that's football. But you saw the Kansas City situation where I think Kelsey had to step in on the situation. Stephen Diggs and somebody else was down there in Houston battling it out. Like you're getting this type of battle, and either you're getting it from veteran players, you're getting it from younger players, but you didn't get it here in Atlanta, right? So let's hope that like you said, Terry, that chemistry is building up, and you might have a little pushing and shoving here and there. People are fighting for their job,
right?
right?
You got guys fighting for jobs. Let's be real.
Careers.
This is what these guys do, and understand in the NFL that really does stand for not for long. There's always some young guy trying to take your position. So it gets, you can have team chemistry and all that has its place. But right now, it's about securing that bag, as the young folks say.
That goes for me with, being QB4. I know Taylor has the experience, but don't let this podcast come take your spot, bro.
Taylor,
I'm throwing 80 on the run. Matter of fact, somebody already hit me up like we got to play in this league today. No, you don't want to do that, dog. You don't want to be old boy from yesterday. He was down 35. That shit was
wow.
Sip Thoughts is in the chat. Looking forward to the Trice, Rook, and Ebiketie rotation. That's gonna be heavy too as well. But Sip Thoughts, we're also missing D'Angelo Malone. We're also missing Zoe Carter.
Dorless.
Where they're throwing them in the mix too as well. I think Doris will play more on that line too. I think Doris is all on the line. I don't think Doris stands up at all. I think it's all on the line straight up on that 3-4. But good to see Trice, Rook, and Ebiketie now being mentioned by the Falcon fans, because as we get ready for the season, I want to hear more about these names. I want to hear why fans are so heavy on Trice. Why are fans so heavy on Rook? Why are you guys so excited about Ebiketie, where he is in his career? Like, this is great to talk to the Falcon fans. It's Falcon fans talking Falcons football on a Falcons Friday. I ain't got my alcohol. I got my water. But I'll be heading down to go watch some Atlanta United. I know that because we don't miss Atlanta United. Big shout out to them too as well. Hopefully they can get this win. Georgia Texas boy said, what about Eddie? It was reported that he was taking snaps today, and we just mentioned that too as well. I know some of these comments are from a few minutes ago who were going back into the chat here, but Eddie Kane was out there. He was out there on the field today. That Georgia heat, it hit him. He just grabbed the towel and wiped off the sweat and put his helmet back on, and he said, I'm finna go try to make this 53. So there's gonna be some questions. Matter of fact, can you write that down? Terry, do we have a list of what we want to do tomorrow at camp? Falcon fans that's not going to camp, what do y'all want us to do when we go to training camp tomorrow? Y'all want us to go try to talk to Grady? Y'all want us to go try to talk to Drake? Y'all want us to get video of Raheem? What do y'all want us to do? Because y'all want us to go talk to Eddie Goldman? Cause what is he? What is he? Not Eddie, go. Hold on. Let me see that. Eddie, go.
Eddie Kang Jr.
Come here, bro. Hey, man. Hey, them fan want to talk to you, bro. Something like that. Nah, man, but real talk. What y'all want us to do at training camp tomorrow? Because we will go ahead and do the best we can and make sure we give y'all as much content as we can. And we have some Falcon fans that's heading down to Miami too as well for the preseason games. Some Rise Up Tour fan club members. So I already reached out to them to let them know, hey, we're going to get some footage from that game so we can let the fans see what goes on in the stands. Because a lot of y'all don't see that. And as a Falcon fan, a diehard Atlanta Falcon fan, when we go on these games, especially the road games, I'm finna show y'all what's going on. I got something I'm planning right now with the Philadelphia Eagle fan base. They don't even know about. When I get to that game, I might piss them off when I do it, but we're gonna find out if they are truly the city of brotherly love. We really gonna find out.
Mm-hmm.
Week 2. Be prepared for that. You can only find that where, Terry? You're not gonna find it on YouTube. You're not going to find it on Twitter.
You got to go to the gram.
You got to go to Instagram one time for the fan, and you got to hit the follow button because you're going to see some stuff on there. You're going to say, holy shit, these guys really do be behind the scenes with this shit. Like, we're diehard Atlanta Falcon fans. You're going to be like, yo, how you over there? What the? I'm telling you, man. We want to go ahead and go to Instagram one time for the fan. Full access to not only one time for the fan, but, of course, being a diehard Falcon fan in Atlanta. It's just what we do. So you won't see videos of, boxing and all the other stuff on there. There's other pages for that. One time for the fans Instagram page is strictly for what we do as fans at the Falcons away games, home games, training camp, whatever. Doesn't matter. And the podcast as well. Pamela Johnson said, get in where you can. I will be out with the Dixon Way. Larry and Shonda, too, as well, from the Dixon Way. Big shout out to them. They do a great job over there on their channel.
They do.
Big shout out to the Dixon Way. Corey Bishop's in the chat. Hey, rise up, damn it. Corey Bishop's in the chat. Pam Johnson said, I am excited. Looking forward to Miami. Pam Johnson, I believe, is also heading to Miami, too, as well. So some fans can't wait to the regular season. They want to go down and see their team play early. So it's also going down in a major way. William Amy said, no jobs on the line until mid-August. Fellas, that is true. They are taking notes. You dropped 5 passes today. You dropped 5 passes today.
What?
It's in July. They're going to remember that in August.
What do they say about baseball? You can't win the division in April, but you can surely lose it.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you can't win the job in July, but you can lose it, right? I mean, hey, look. In any job, on every day, you have to go out there and be at your best. You gotta be at your best, man. It's competition, bro. And competition never rests. Competition doesn't sleep, right? Understand, right now, Jack, there's a young podcaster looking to take your spot. Right now, there's another guy that threw 85 on the run that's trying to take your spot with the Falcons, Jack. That's all I'm saying, okay? You got to be on it. Got to be on your P's and Q's, right? There's another guy right here that's got 48 monitors that's going to make me look like peanuts. You know what I mean? He's trying to take my spot. So we all got competition, man. That's all I'm saying.
That is tough. Jay Diaz in the chat. We shout out to Jay. We shout out to Jamal Hill in the chat too as well. Jonte's in the chat too as well. How about Katavius Street? No talk of that. Kerry does a great job as our one time for the fans sideline reporter too as well.
Really
so Kerry's sending us everything, and we're taking care of work. We got stuff to do, and I just look up and it's like 50 things to go over.
50,
but no talk of Street. I know you're heavy on Street too as well, Terry. We'll probably find out Sunday. Matter of fact, we'll find out tomorrow about Street. But Say Which Way reported that Grady Jarrett, Lakel London, Eddie Goldman, Rook got more reps today. David Onyata, Taekwon Graham. They got a lot of reps, but I'm not seeing anything on Street as yet. So we'll find out tomorrow. I'm sure he definitely was out there. Like Raheem said, all players are attended for except for the one player that's on the PUP list. But no talks of Street. I'm glad to hear about Eddie Goldman on the second day because I'm telling you, man, that's the sleeper. That's the sleeper. If he makes the 53, you're gonna be like, All right, Jack, go buy the jersey. I'm gonna go buy the jersey.
Y'all.
So Mike Hughes continues as quarterback too. D. Alford is the main guy at nickel. D. Alford's name also being mentioned into the mix too as well. I mean, Caden Ellis was out there a lot. Lorenzo Carter getting those looks at outside linebacker. Still the same two rookies that's out there yesterday was out there today with the first team getting some snaps. Trice and Rook. Rondo Moore was running with the 2 group. McLeod seems to be running with the first group. And we'll see what goes from there. But tomorrow we're going to ask a lot of questions. Hopefully we get a lot of answers. But that's the cool thing about being a Falcon fan and like the public open to the public practices. Like you can ask those questions. Like at the game, they ain't trying to answer that shit. You know what I'm saying? They about their business. They locked into the zone. Like even after the game, like when you see these players, like if they lose, like it's tough to go over there and ask for an autograph. They don't want to be signing that shit sometimes. Like they just lost the game.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I remember who was that fan? I can't remember which fan it was that it was Tyler Algier in Cincinnati. He was standing right next to me. We went back there to go get some autographs, and the fan asked Tyler, how did you feel about getting your first touchdown or something? Because he scored in Cincinnati, and he was like, it's cool, but we lost the game.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he wants to win. These players want to win. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it's that big. I mean, I remember seeing Anthony Rush after the game one time, after the Saints game, when they pulled the D-line out, and then the Saints came back and beat us, and he was upset after the game. A couple games later, he's no longer on the team. But that was the same guy who was fighting at camp to stick up for the young guys, right? So things happen every day, y'all. Let's just hope that training camp still plays out where nobody gets injured, right? Today, a lot of players seem to be a little hot out there. But Flowery Branch, that Georgia Sun, pound for pound mention, when that Georgia Sun hits you, you know, you turn into a different person. And of course, you got Michael Penix coming from Washington, and he do-ragged up out there. So he damn near probably hotter than anybody out there. You can do-rag with the helmet on.
It's a sauna underneath that helmet. But no, look, man, it's this is training camp. You know, you're gonna have some fights, bro. You know what I mean? And I want to say something about that too. So, look, I think Bad Boys 4 is coming to streaming or whatever, which I purchased it the other day. Streaming,
Jeez.
like streaming platforms.
Yeah.
But there's something in there that really connected with me, and I love it.
I said T-Mobile. I'm about to say Tubi.
It's all good, man. It's all good.
My wife orders a bunch of shit. I can see packages.
So in the movie, like Will faces this major challenge, which is panic attacks. And it related to me because, like, ever since my mom died, I've been having them. And where I connected with it was due to guilt, right?
Mm-hmm.
And anybody who's lost somebody close to you, you're gonna feel guilty, even if you got nothing to do with it. It's a part of it. But I really like that they put that in there because a lot of people go through it, and I really like the way they did it. And I'm not gonna give away the plot, but it was good, man. It was good. So Jamel, I did see it. I appreciate you shouting that out, man. And you know, if you haven't seen it, you need to buy it. I think you can buy it on Google, Amazon, Vudu, or which is now Fandango. But yeah, man, great story. Anyway, back to Falcons. Just since he put that out there, wanted to respond.
No, that's what the chat's all about. Chat can talk. Y'all can talk Marvel. Y'all can talk NCAA. Y'all can talk Madden. We gonna mention the Falcons, but ask the questions, man. We gonna talk fans. We fans.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but no, man. Look, I'd be worried if you didn't have any fights at camp.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? These guys are getting after it, and that's a part of it. You know what I mean? And in most cases, most of it, look, we fight one minute, we friends the next. You know what I mean? It's just at that moment in time, you got the best of me, and I didn't like it. Let's be real, right? In this league, offensive line, defensive line, you getting paid to whoop somebody's ass. And if you got any stones about you, you don't like your ass getting whooped, so you get enough of that, you got to strike back. So I get it, human. It's human. You know what I mean? Now you shouldn't be fighting all the time. You shouldn't have 3, 4, 5, 6 fights going on. But you know, just a little bitterness when it comes. That's not a bad thing. It's hot. You know what I mean? It's not like you're in 72-degree weather. It's hot out there. And that Georgia heat with that humidity will choke you. It will choke you. I left the house the other day, and as soon as I opened the door, my glasses fogged up from the humidity. And this was like 9 o'clock in the morning. So it happens, you know what I mean? But yeah, a couple of fights, no big deal. They'll be fine. You know what I mean? When it's time to go, time to lock in, that first game, they'll be fine. They'll be in unison. They'll be in step. They'll be where they need to be.
Yep. Falcon fans.
It's not bad. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Auntie Pam said, what about Avery Williams? Avery Williams, he took the first kickoff return rep. That was yesterday. So him and Ray McLeod were back there. That was reported from Say Which Way. So big shout to Say Which Way too as well. These people do a good job of reporting for the Falcons, man. They're out there early in the morning. And we was hoping to, go live when camp was still going on. Right now, if I remember correctly, they'd have their break, and I believe they come back and then they go to the facility that's indoors,
right?
Which they what they used to do in the past. They'll do the morning practice for the fans, which is all their light stuff, and then they'll go back to the locker room, not the locker room. They'll go back to the other facility, the closed area, the practice field, and you'll get a chance to work on their playbook and stuff that they can get ready for Miami and so on. So. A lot of that stuff you won't see too as well, because a lot of the journalists and media is not allowed in that area. They do allow some people in there from time to time, but you don't see too many fans in there. You probably won't even see that many fans in there. So that's good to know that Avery Williams is out there with the first team trying to get that, that cornerback, kick return spot locked in, punt return spot locked in. There's probably going to be a lot more returns this year too as well. So you want to have the right guy back there for the job, right? And Ray has experience in that field too as well. But Terry, this is day 2 of training camp. So we didn't get a chance to really see the full layout before the Dolphins. Next week, it could change. Ray's taking snaps at the 1 for kick return and punt return. D. Alford is now trying to get some mix into the cornerback 2 role. Harrison Hand is going to be working to. We don't know. But right now, I'm just glad to say that there's no fights. Like, everybody's healthy, right? It was a little bit hot today. And they seem to be getting better. Kirk Cousins has some good videos and some good, some great things that they were mentioning about him. I thought it was some more Falcon. More Falcon? I was about to say, I thought it was another Falcon video. But Kirk Cousins, some good things about him today. Michael Penix, some good things about him today. Drake London, outside of, him having the being overheated. But a couple players too as well. I mean, that's Flowery Branch for you. Pam Johnson's in the house. She said, hotel booked, airline ticket booked. Me and my good friend Alicia, Philly fan. We ready. Traveling with a Philly fan. That is tough, Auntie Pam.
That might test the bonds of friendship that weekend, but okay. I can dig it, man. You know what? It's funny. It's funny. I met this fan. It's an Eagles fan, right? Interesting. I'm not gonna lie, it touched me, right? And this is the only time you'll ever hear me say anything positive about an Eagles fan, other than my nephew. I kind of have to say something about him, but I met him. It was at a family cookout, and he was a friend of my cousin-in-law. And he said that he became an Eagles fan because his best friend died. And his best friend was an Eagle fan, and he wanted to carry that on. And I just thought, man, that's great. You know what I mean? First and foremost, the Eagles, but I thought that was such a commitment. He didn't even like the Eagles before that, right? Was not an Eagles fan at all, and took on that mantle and reps them. And I just thought that was great. So, made me think of it when you were talking about Auntie Pam. But hey, man, traveling makes strange bedfellows. Hopefully, that weekend. Did she say she was going to the Eagles game with this Eagles fan, or is she going?
I believe she's talking about the Miami Dolphins game.
Yeah, that one won't test the bonds. That one won't test the bond.
Well, I'm guessing, from what Auntie Pam is saying here, this young lady Alicia, who's a Philly fan, is traveling with Auntie Pam to the Miami game.
Yeah,
I'm guessing they're probably going to be traveling to the Eagles game too as well. I mean, this is an Eagles fan hanging with Auntie Pam.
That's going to be. Oh yes, Eagles game. Oh, that's going to be an interesting ride, man.
Week 2,
interesting ride back. That's going to be an interesting ride back.
For Falcon fans that do love to travel, I'm glad that you mentioned this, Terry, because she said yes, the Eagles game.
Yeah.
Jamal Hill's in the chat. Raheem said they should ramp it up for the open practice. Hey, that's even better for me. Zoom in, Terry. Zoom in. You get that? You get? Did you see 98? All right, you see Grady. All right, Terry. I need you to go over there. You get that footage. Get that video over there. Get AJ now. If AJ walk over to that fence, you got to get up to the fence now. You get up to the fence.
Let's do it.
But that's diehard Atlanta Falcon fans, just preparing for tomorrow. Big shout to False Start Falcon in the chat. Big shout to False Start, diehard Atlanta Falcon fan. If you are traveling to some away games this season, you definitely want to travel with a group of Falcon fans that keep it real. Some diehard Atlanta Falcon fans that don't care what the record is, they're going to be there. And that's the Rise Up Tour fan club, man. Once again, it's a group me and my good friend Thomas started a couple years ago, and we have just taken off on a whole new level. But this year, it's our 7th year. Bus trip to Carolina. Last year we did 2 bus trips. It was to Tennessee and Tampa, back-to-back games. This year we're doing the bus trip to Carolina and the bus trip to Tampa. As you can see on the screen right there, it is $100 per person. You can go to the riseuptourfanclub.com/Carolina to sign up. If you're a member and you're watching and you're listening, if you're a member of the Rise Up Tour Fan Club, you know your price is different than this right here. But if you're not a member and you want to still be on the bus, day trip, October 13th, we're heading up to Carolina to go whoop the Panthers. By that time, let's see, that's week 13. Panthers should be 0-6 at that time, I believe. Right, Terry? 0-6, 0-7?
Yeah, we can do that. Let's do that. Sounds about right. Sounds about right for them. I don't really have high expectations, but this is the NFL, and you never know. That's a beautiful thing about this game, man. You never know. Sometimes the team that you think are going to suck at the height of sucktivity, sometimes they suck less. Sometimes they're really good. You just never know. I know I made up a word. I know I did.
First one of the day goes to Terry. Sucktivity.
Yeah. Suck at the height. They probably are going to suck at the height of sucktivity, but you never know. I don't care. They're Panthers. We're Falcons. We're not going to suck. We're going to be great. We're going to be great. We're going to be
oh my gosh,
opposite of sucktivity. We are going to be productivity on the field, and we're going to be awesome, and we're going to win, and we're going to kick their ass. So whatever.
You sound about right. I definitely agree with you. Falcon fans, hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button. As you can see on the screen, the Carolina bus trip is in full effect. It is a day trip for fans asking. Terry, I talked to you about this, about how many questions I get asked every single time we finish the podcast, or when I'm just talking Rise Up Tour, I get asked a million questions.
Yes, sir.
So, of course, with the podcast, we can answer a million questions too as well.
Yes,
so if you have any questions about any upcoming away games, feel free to ask it to me here in the chat. Feel free to shoot me an email. I'll put it right there in the chat for you shortly, or reach out to me on Facebook, Jack Spade. You can even reach out to Terry too as well. Terry will point you in the right direction. But for fans that just want to know, we do have a lot of events in every single city. Some people is looking like, oh, you guys just go to Carolina and Tampa? You guys just going to New Orleans? No. We've been doing this for 7 years. We go to every single city. It don't care where the Falcons playing. It don't care what time the Falcons are playing. Rise Up Tour Fan Club is always going to be there. We also don't care what the record is. Terry, I told you that already. We don't care what the record is. When we show up in numbers, right? So, Falcon fans, if you're looking for a fan group, fan club to be a part of, something special, because we have, like I said, Philadelphia, we have events. Carolina, we have events. Tampa, we have events. What's after Tampa? New Orleans, we have events. I'm trying to remember the schedule. After New Orleans is Denver.
Vegas.
After Denver is Minnesota. After Minnesota is Vegas. After Vegas is Washington. So every single city you go to, Falcon fans, we have events. Now, if you're a member of the Rise Up Tour Fan Club, you get a lot of things on the side, a lot of perks. because we are a fan club. So like you can take Minnesota, for instance. We have a host hotel in Minnesota for fans that's heading to Minnesota for the game. The Kirk Cousins revenge game, because he's going back to Minnesota to slap up the Vikings inside US Bank Stadium. But if you're heading to Minnesota, a lot of fans have been seeing that the hotel prices are kind of outrageous downtown or further out in the area. But with the RISEUP Tour Fan Club, we have a extremely magnificent group rate that is available only for fan club members. But right here, the bus trip, $100 per person. But with being a member of the fan club, you don't pay $100 for the bus trip. It's a little bit cheaper. So if you want to sign up for the RISEUP Tour Fan Club, you can head on over to the RISEUPTourFanClub.com. Carolina day trip, and there's going to be a tailgate too as well for the members that's going to be heading out there. So we also have the bus trip to Tampa, Terry, October 26th, which is whose birthday?
That would be Mr. Jack Spades.
That would be my birthday. And were we partying? We're not partying in Magic City. I know fans hit me up like, Jack, let's do Magic City. Nah, we're not doing Magic City. I know fans hit me up like, Jack, man, let's go to the club. Let's go Buckhead, man. Nah, we're not going Buckhead, man. We're going to Tampa. We're going to Tampa for the Falcons-Bucks game. That night, we're going to have a great party. We're going to celebrate the Falcons having, hopefully, at that time. Well, I'm sorry. They will have a winning record at that time because we're going to be on the right track this season with Kirk Cousins and Raheem Morris and the rest of the crew. RISEUP Tour Fan Club presents the bus trip to Tampa. As you can see, it's $150 per person. If you are not a member, if you are a member, use your cheat sheets, check your emails. We also have the host hotel too as well, Sheraton Suites, Tampa Airport, West Shore. That's down there on Cypress Street. Falcon fans, it's going down in a major way. Those are your two bus trips for the year, right? The train ride to New Orleans, Terry, is sold out.
Sold out.
So I know fans have been asking about that. I was hoping we had a couple seats available. We said, how I go get my membership? William, Amy, you already got your membership. I need to make my deposit. Oh, you talking about for the bus trip? Oh, I can assist you with that, Will. But the train ride to New Orleans is sold out, y'all. So we did it last year. I think it's like 60 seats or something. But it's sold out. So for fans that's traveling to New Orleans, we're doing the train ride this year. Fans love it. It's a party on the train. We have our own exclusive fan club car, so we can deck it out with all of our Falcons gear, anything that we want on there. You can bring your own drink too as well. So fans are on there partying, music, good vibes, having a good time. The train ride to New Orleans, and then when they get to New Orleans that Friday, we partying in New Orleans. RISEUP Tour Fan Club, man, we got a lot going on this year, so get on board with what we got going on. New Orleans party, every city, Vegas, everything. Oh, the Vegas thing. So I remember I had to tell you guys. We already have pre-sale tickets available for the party in Vegas. Terry, I know you don't fly, but you might want to fly out for this one.
You told me I could wait, or this morning. Was it this morning or Wednesday? You said if you start walking now, you can.
If you start walking now, you'll get there
by
the time the game starts.
You can do that. So
we do have pre-sale tickets for the party in Vegas available. Yep. For our members, and our members are taking advantage of the pre-sale tickets. Of course, it's not free in Vegas. It costs to walk, costs to talk, costs to breathe in Vegas. But when you're with the RISEUP Tour Fan Club, we just find ways to just do, I don't know, cool stuff for cool fans. Everybody, honestly, because if you're a Falcon fan, you're a part of it. Like the party's going to be for everybody, but of course, ain't nothing free in Vegas. But the pre-sale tickets are going up right now. So if you know a member of the RISEUP Tour Fan Club, you might want to reach out to them and say, yo, I need those pre-sale tickets for the party in Vegas. I can't release the flyer just yet until all the members grab the tickets because the price will be different at that point. But the building does hold about, can't remember, I think it holds about 2,000 or 3,000 people. So it's going to be a good time in Vegas. Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Don't forget about Denver. We got the why even mention that? So much going on, Falcon fans. All you got to do is just head on over to Facebook, look up the RISEUP Tour Fan Club, and we'll go ahead and get you situated. We still have memberships available too as well. For $52, we have a membership available. So if you want to be a part of that, just hit me up. Jack Spade on Facebook. Right here, you can drop your information in the chat, email you back, or just tag me on social media. As you can see at the bottom of the screen, YouTube. We also have Twitter too as well, or X, whatever they call it. And of course, we're on Facebook and Instagram, where a lot of our content will be heading to. Instagram, a lot of the behind the scenes exclusive stuff. Once again, it's on Instagram. So tell your Falcons friends and tag your Falcons family. William Amy said, I need to go make my deposit. If you're on the bus trip, make the deposit, man. Get on there, man. It's going down in the major way. Travis Press is in the chat. Said one time, big shout out to you all for the Rise Up tour, bringing Falcon fans together to support our team. So, yeah, I'll get into more about the Rise Up Tour fan club over a period of time. I don't want to just take up everybody's time. It's an hour and a half right now. But, it started with a ticket being sold at an away game. It started with me going to Cleveland for that 2017 game when it was freezing cold. And my homeboy, who's texting me right now about joining this NCAA league, who backed out because he said he was too worried about the cold. He's like, it's going to be cold out there, man. I said, man, chill.
Man.
Sorry, yeah, something I didn't. But he didn't want to go, and I decided I'm just going to sell the ticket for face value. I'm sure there's some Falcon fan out here who wants to go. That was like a week and a half before the game. And I hit up a couple of Falcon groups, and I asked, hey, y'all, I got a game. I got a ticket for Cleveland. Who wants to buy it? And sure enough, Thomas responded and said, hey, I'll buy the ticket. And then less than 24 hours later, he contacted me back and said, hey, you want to throw a party in Cleveland? I said, throw a party in Cleveland? What the fuck I want to throw a party in Cleveland for? I live in Atlanta. He was like, nah, man, for the Falcon fans. Let's do it for the fans. And I'm like, what? And sure enough, over a period of time, a couple hours, day or so, I go over it and I'm like, let me look into this, And sure enough, when we threw the party, we had over like 400 fans there. And we threw it at the casino. So from that moment, I just figured, hey, I guess it's just going to be the move. And then we didn't even have a name for it. We created a name after that party. And from there, it just took off to where we have over almost close to 1,500 people in our group that just travel. All they do is travel to away games. We're all season ticket holders and PSL holders, but we don't really care what happens at the home games outside of just the game. Like the tailgates we go to, that's cool. I mean, there's parties and stuff. All right, we're in the city all day, but when you travel and go away to an away game, it's totally different. You're a tourist now. You're in a different part of the world. So that's why Philadelphia, people keep asking where y'all sitting. Like people don't want to sit alone in Philadelphia. Shit, I'll sit by myself in Philadelphia. I don't care. But we do the best we can, Travis, to look out for a lot of Falcon fans. And over the past couple of years, we've taken it just a step further. You know what I'm saying? So the bus trips are fun. The train ride trips are fun. The cruise that we just got off of too as well. And I ain't even going to talk about that too as well because we did a cruise. We got another one coming up next year. That's all you need to know. But we bring Falcon fans out, man, for the away games. That's how big it is for us because we travel. We don't give a damn what the record is at the Rise Up Tour fan club.
We don't care.
We do not care what the record is. I don't care if they're 1-14 and they're playing in Australia. I'm on that flight to Australia.
I'm going to knock on wood for that one, buddy. Okay. All right. Yeah, there you go.
That would never happen. That would never happen because I don't think we're playing in Australia either. So you don't even – there you go. I don't –
Oh, just –
Yeah, I know. But I can guarantee you, right, man, when the season started, we already knew the teams. You want to know how far we are with the Rise Up Tour fan club? We play San Fran in San Fran next year, right? We play Arizona in Arizona next year. We go back to New England next year, right? Well, we already on 2025 at the fan club. All of our events this year are damn near ready. So
chess, not checkers.
It's about chess, not checkers.
You
got to be a step ahead. Some of these cities are big for the fan club members too because a lot of these people want to hit 32 stadiums. They want to hit all this. They want to go to every single stadium. We got fans who haven't even been to the Benz.
Yeah,
that's in the fan club. and they're traveling to all these other stadiums. They still, I got to get away to get to a home game. I've never been there, but they showing up in Vegas.
Yeah.
Like,
my brother and I have a cousin who's been to all 32, or if not, he's very close. Interestingly enough, in baseball and football.
So that's big right there. Because as a diehard fan, like when I'm done going to all the stadiums in the NFL, I don't know what I'm going to do next. I want to do Georgia. You know what I'm saying? I want to do UGA. I was thinking about doing Atlanta United. You know what I'm saying? Because at least they already had the teams already in place of who to play. You already know you're going to go to Montreal. You know you're going to go to LA once. You know you're going to go. So I can kind of get that out the way. And I'm a big fan of soccer too. But otherwise than that, I mean, Georgia maybe. I think about doing the Braves after. But, you know, when I get to all these stadiums, like, I know some fans collect pins, and that's big too as well. Fans always say, when you go in that stadium, get a game day pin. That was the biggest thing for me in London. Fans just kept tagging me all, get me a pin, get me a pin. I'm like, I can't even find a fucking pin.
Right.
How am I going to go get 10?
Right.
And I remember passing people in the hallway in London, in Wembley, and they were like, I'm like, where you going? The pins are this way. They want their pin because they've been to that stadium. They want their collection of pins that it shows the game day pin.
Right.
For me, I don't get the pin. I do the picture.
Right.
I take the picture right outside the stadium. I take the picture in the stadium. Hell, I'm doing the halftime photo. I'm the one who calls the halftime photo at the away games.
Right.
But I'm in the fucking stadium. You ain't got to worry about that. But that's going to be big too as well. Where we're going to do the halftime photo in Philly. Them Philly fans ain't finna let us jump around and shit like that. And they're finna turn up. But guess what? That's part of our tradition. That's what we do. That's what we're going to do. I'll get the video. Matter of fact, on Sunday night, I'm going to play the video for you from Washington on our second year when we did our halftime photo. And there was a Commander fan that felt like he wants to break up what we had going on. Falcon Commander, he knows about it. He knows what's going on. He's in there. I can show you the video from Arizona when we had our halftime photo when security ran by and they were like, break it up. You guys are like 700 people here yelling ATL. Yeah.
We need you guys to stop.
We're from out of town, man. We're only here for a good time.
Our team sucks perpetually, and we don't like it when you gather and cheer for the other team because we know we're not going to win anyway.
I mean, hey, that game was along the lines of that until they couldn't sack Kyler Murray. But yeah, it's kind of like that when you go on the road and you expect to have a win. I went into Tennessee thinking, dub. I don't care who we got a quarterback. Dub.
Boy.
We finna drag him. I drove here. We gotta drag him. Then we went into Arizona. Easy work. This right here, this is easy work. What y'all? I was in Arizona like, what are y'all? What are y'all? How dare y'all talk to me? Who's y'all quarterback?
Is that a football team?
They were heavy in Arizona. I swear I remember that Arizona fan turning to me after the game, shook my hand. He was like, you guys are a quarterback away. I said, get your ass out my face. Don't ever get your ass in my face.
Even though you're right. Get out my face. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear the truth right now, sir. Stop it.
Then the Cardinal fan, the one fan that was in front of me mad because I was yelling at the team. Like, let's go, Falcons, let's go. I was going off. He gonna turn around. Hey, buddy, can you just quiet down a little bit? What?
I paid my money too, sir. So if I want to yell for my team, that's my prerogative, sir.
I'll tell you some stuff. Matter of fact, we can do some away game stories on Sunday night. I have some stories for you.
Yeah, that's
fans
good.
will say, Jack, you go to all these stadiums.
Let's do that.
Let's hear some stories. I got the story for you about the
don't tell them now.
The Chicago Bears fan.
Don't tell them.
The drunk fan that decided he just wants to be an asshole that day.
Yeah.
And really tried. He tested my limits. There are fans that go to the stadium that say, I'm gonna get kicked out of here today. And I met one in Chicago. Right? They will say, bro, I'm walking in here drunk as hell, and when I walk out is in handcuffs.
All right, you've given him the teaser.
And I'm taking somebody with me too.
You're telling the
home
story.
or away team.
You're telling the story. Don't tell them the story.
All right, I got you. Sunday night we'll go over some away game stories.
Yeah, we gotta do it. Yeah. Or
Amy said, "Can't."
Maybe we come back on for the third show. Maybe
we can do. We did breakfast with one time for the fan. We did lunch for one time for the fan. Right. We can do dinner with one time for the fan. I know Chase has a show tonight with John Abraham too as well.
You may as well complete the cycle.
And we can.
Late. It might have to, but I'm down, bro. I'm down.
William Amy said, "Can't wait to go to the Philly game week 2." I mean, Philly's cool. I actually have to call Philadelphia in a couple of minutes. I'm trying to finalize something, but Philly's gonna be cool, man. Like my homeboy said, he's a Philly fan. He said, just be a fan and just chill. He said, that's it. He said, if you start going at people and acting like, you're this big shot fan, he said, there's people in Philly that will check you for it. There's, like I said, there's people that show up to say, I'm going to jail tonight and you're coming with me. So you got to know that's how it is in some of these stadiums. But the Rise Up Tour fan club, what we do, like Travis said, we bring people together on the level of hanging out, try to get the same flight, try to do this, try to go here, we're eating here, we're anything, like partying, it doesn't matter. Even when we go to the game, we're sitting here, we're there. So if you want to be a part of something special, the Rise Up Tour fan club, we'll explain more of that going on to Sunday's podcast. T-Will.
Yes, sir.
This has been a great time talking about the Atlanta Falcons 2024 training camp for the first week. We still have tomorrow. We'll be out there live in the flesh. So we get another podcast. Technically, if we don't go live tonight, we're doing it tomorrow.
I think we should do both, man. Let's go for the record.
Damn it, Terry.
Go for the record. Bro. You're only going to get week 1 of training camp, right? Let's go big, Jack. Let's go big. Go big or go home, right? 2024. All right. We are on the precipice of greatness. And you don't go in there like a pansy. You got to kick the door down like a banshee, like they owe you money, and snatch some collars to let these folks know that we're here. In some sort of way, that turned into like juice. I don't know why.
Shit.
Run from old man Quillez. We run like the goddamn track team. You got to snatch the ground beneath your feet and go out in the blaze if you have to. You trying to tell me like your mama do that shit. Whoa! Man, I love that scene. Gave me goosebumps, man. Tupac, shout out to you. Wherever you are, man. Love that scene.
We got to get Terry in some acting classes or something. Does anybody here have anybody at Tyler Perry Studio or Paramount or Columbia, anywhere, one of these places that we can get Terry on? Because he can read a script, man. I think they put Terry on screen. Next thing you know, I'm looking for a new podcast. I'm looking for a new co-host because Terry's going to be out there. Damn, Terry's on NFL Network again. Let me text him, see if he look at his phone while he's live.
Bro, hey, man, I just want a podcast. Just want to have some fun. This is just us having fun, man. And I got a feeling we're going to be doing this.
Okay. Jaguars fans here.
We're good. You ain't got to be at work. Y'all ain't got to be. Oh, wow.
His profile pictures in his work. His profile pictures in his work outfit. We talking about we ain't got to be at work.
He said, y'all ain't got to be at work.
Ain't you at Lake Spivey right now? Ain't you teeing off at Lake Spivey? What you doing over here in the chat? You texted me earlier talking about you teeing off today at Lake Spivey. Where you at?
Wow.
You lucky I had to go deal with Atlanta United. I want to go see the game. I'll cancel the game if y'all were teeing off late, but Lake Spivey, that's hell. That's definitely early morning.
Y'all ain't got work to do. That was actually pretty good, man. That was pretty good. That's kind of fun.
We got a lot of work. We're doing a lot of work week 2 preseason, I believe it is. Is week 2 or week 3? Week 3?
Week 3?
When we play the Jags. When we smacking up the Jags? I know we got the Dolphins first. Let's see. Let's see here, Falcon fans. August 23rd. Oh, we smacking up the Jags on the 23rd, my boy. Week 3. That's right. He texted me the other day, said he about to go buy $1,000 front row tickets for preseason. Look at the Jags fan supporting Mercedes-Benz Stadium. $1,000 row 1 tickets. Big shout out to you, Janelle. All to see what? The Jags or the Falcons?
See them get beat by Michael Penix.
Michael Penix carving up them ones over there from Jacksonville. You don't want to see that. You don't want to see Michael. That's week 3 preseason. That's Michael Penix really carving your ones up. You better be careful. You spend $1,000 on them row 1 tickets, Jags fan. You better be careful. Michael Penix carving up your first team. You don't want them problems. Who y'all got week 1 too? Let me see. Who the Jags play week 1? Let's see here. Oh Lord, I about to say. Oh, they got the Browns week 1. That's a walk. Deshaun gonna walk them. And they got the Texans week 2. Oh boy, he'll be here on the podcast. We ain't gotta worry about that. He'll be here on the podcast.
Oh wow!
Oh no, they got the Dolphins. They got the Dolphins week 1, the Browns week 2, then the Bills week 3, then the Texans week 4, then the Colts week 5. Come on, John L. Jacksonville. Yeah, your first win is probably October 6th. That is tough, Falcon fans.
Well, you can also come on the show, John L. You can, we won't reject you, brother. We might clown you a little bit, but we won't.
This is the safe space. The Panther fan is here. He's somewhere in the chat.
It's a safe space.
It's a safe space. We can talk football. Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. T will
clown you. Yes, sir.
This has been great talking Atlanta Falcons 2024 training camp. We'll be back tomorrow talking more Falcons football. I just realized my friend just texted me and said, Vamos United. They're about to play in a little bit too as well. So I have to get ready to go get my said Matt won't let me on the show for a preseason game. Next time, matter of fact, I'll do you a solid, John. The next time the Falcons play the Jags in the regular season, you are invited on this show.
Oh, wow.
The next time, because he came to training camp last year and, wearing the Jags jersey and the Falcon the players asking me, like, who's your boy?
He was throwing off the energy. He went to school with him. Man.
Trying to hope. I'm over there trying to get the autographs. Why you want the autographs? You don't want to telling the players you don't want an autograph from a real one. Wow. Trying to show the jersey like this. They looking at him like, man, why are you here? It's already 94 degrees and you wearing that
better, John.
Black and teal jersey. What in the hell? Talk to me. Can I go get Trevor Lawrence or Travis Etienne?
Wow.
You do that in Jacksonville.
It's the disloyalty for me.
It's always that one. Matter of fact, I am also glad they're not having camp this year because it's that one Saints fans who's going to show up wearing the shirt, and we're all going to turn around and boo them at the same time. At least we got to see that.
You had to expect that. Look, if you do certain things, you expect certain results, right? So if you show up, especially if you show up at a Falcons camp with a Saints jersey on, you get whatever you deserve because you showed up there, buddy. You did. I'm not encouraging anyone, but you're definitely going to get booed. All right. I'm not encouraging negative behavior, anything like that. I'm simply saying that if you show up to a Falcons camp with a Saints shirt on, somebody's going to respond. You got to expect that. It is what it is.
And it just shows also the fan base too, from how you rep, versus
I get it.
How some others rep. The Jags that day for the joint practice, they had one Jacksonville Jaguars fan out there. It was Jarnell. Coming up, the joint practice in Miami, you will see probably a lot more Falcon fans out there because number one, it's Miami.
Right.
People just want to be out there in Miami. But two, there's a lot of Falcon fans that live in Miami. Right. So just to hear about a joint practice and then a preseason game right there. Yeah. But he's over here in the chat talking. It's supposed to be on last year. Then we smacked the feathers off it. Man, you don't even want to see Trevor Lawrence versus Kirk Cousins this year. You don't want to see that right now. You don't want to go those problems. Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Terry, before we get up out of here, man, platform is yours.
I appreciate it.
What's your shout outs, my brother?
Thank you to all of the Falcons fan in this chat, man. Again, we can't do this without y'all. It is such a joy. Enjoy the camaraderie. Enjoy the repartee. Enjoy the back and forth. Had fun doing it. Obviously, thank God. Without him, I'm not even here, and none of us are. So thank you, God, for everything. Yeah, man. Lastly, Jack, I appreciate you, brother. It was fun doing 2 shows with you. If you want to go for 3, I'm down. And obviously, we got one tomorrow. So you want to wait until tomorrow? That's fine too. If we're gonna do one on Sunday, that's 3 days in a row. That's the trifecta, right?
That's nothing though. We got more shows coming up next week. Special guests. We got to get on people who's watching the Falcons practice and reporting this stuff. We're definitely going to get them on because one time for the fan is from the fan. for the fan. And you guys have so many questions, and we can give you our thoughts and opinions about it, and we can put the facts up on the screen to display. But it's good to have people that's there that can also back this up too as well. That can also let us know what is going on, because sometimes we see it and we might say it in our group chat or on the phone or however, but there's some people that's really close to the Falcons that can explain this better, right? So even for the Richie Grant, day one on the field, let's ask some people about that. Mike Hughes, cornerback too. Let's ask somebody about that. We can do that tomorrow too as well. Matter of fact, we can do that next week. The cool thing about it is when you have a podcast, you can do that anytime you want to. So one time for the fan is here. But yeah, Terry, it's on you.
Hey, man. Well, now it's on you. As long as you keep inviting me, I'll keep coming back. Jack, this was fun. And let's get together and do it again tomorrow, man. And we're going to see some sights. We're going to meet some people. We're going to talk to some folks. I'm excited about it. And yeah, man, I mean, there's nothing else left to say. It's time to do now. So
I will say it's possible we can do the training camp situation. Then when we head back home, we do a late night podcast possibly. Because Sunday we have the Rise Up Tour fan club membership party. So that's going to be great that, we have well over 100 plus people. I can't remember how many people registered. But it's going to be a good time to be out there with Falcon fans enjoying themselves at the membership party, collecting their swag bags. Terry, I have your swag bag somewhere over here. But it's going to be great to have, all the fans showing up. We're going to have a good time. We're going to have some music. We're going to have some drinks. We're going to talk some football. And then we're going to be going live Sunday night. So much, I keep telling y'all, so much is happening with One Time for the Fan right now. And big shout out to all the other content creators, because I'm sure they have other big things too as well that they're working on. Jarnell said, I'm going to show up. Where's it going to be at? This is a private location. And then,
wow.
you have to have your membership card.
Wow.
Or you have to have a guest badge.
Are you talking about Sunday? I thought he was talking about tomorrow.
He's talking. I hope he's talking about tomorrow. Because if you're talking about tomorrow, don't get booed out there.
Oh, wow.
Don't get booed out there. And this is the day I ain't answering the phone, because this is where like cameras are rolling. So it's like, hey man, gotta go.
Yeah.
I need my time. Matter of fact, there's a video from camp I think it was on Fox 5. I think it was on one of those channels. But we're over there repping, we're turning up. And somebody tags me and says, where's the Jags fan come? Where did he come from? On the video. So it's like, bro, you're taking up TV time.
You're taking my shine.
Now you're taking the shine, bro. Because people asking who the Jags fan. No, we look at the Jags fan for it. It's me.
Why?
You're taking the shine.
Why? I just need to know why, Johnny. Well, what are we doing?
So we're gonna have to do one of them. I don't know. Do something, get them up out of here. But we have to do something, man.
The book says there's a time and a place for everything, right? So you just have to apply that to life. There's a time and a place for everything. There's a time and a place for a Jags fan to show up to a Falcons practice, and that is not it. And there you go. But we love you, John. We love you.
You want to show it tomorrow? You live with y'all to build up no football energy. Sheesh.
Damn. Wow.
Let us talk in the building.
I'm
up right now towards the end of the show.
Getting started. Uh-oh.
He said he's gonna be we're at MBS tomorrow. You can pull up at MBS. That's where the practice is tomorrow at MBS. Falcons fans, hit that like, share, subscribe button.
Wow.
It's going to be a great time going forward with the Falcons. It's going to be a great time going forward One Time for the Fan. We promise you we're going to bring all the exclusive stuff that you want to see. And you can head on over to, if you're on YouTube or Twitter, we have a Facebook page. You can see at the bottom of the screens, One Time for the Fan. The YouTube, as you know, it is One Time for the Fan. And, of course, we have our Twitter page. It's One Time for the Fan as well. But Instagram is where you want to be this season. Head on over to Instagram. Follow the page. We'll be posting a lot of stuff. Matter of fact, it's Falcons Friday right now. We'll be posting some Falcon content too as well. Darnell said, after I get done shooting photos at Georgia Tech, I'm going to pull up. It ain't at MBS, bro. Matter of fact, bro, worry about Jacksonville. Nah, it's fun. If you want to come out there, Darnell, it's in Gwinnett County. You know what I'm saying? It's in Gwinnett.
The band's like, what?
Yeah, it's at Gwinnett. Cause I know Jarnell probably just pull up in his regular gear. He don't just drive around with Jacksonville. I hope you don't drive around with Jacksonville Jaguar stuff in your car. That's now that's like
now that you said it, Jack,
that's criminal.
Oh,
Yeah, you don't want to do that type of stuff. But if you want to, Jarnell's out there in Gwinnett, man, let me know. It's not too far from that River Pines golf course. But Falcon fans, let's hit that like, share, and subscribe button. T-Will for my ATL Sports. Any shows coming up for you?
Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. So Tuesday.
Because fans want to talk Braves, man. I don't know what the hell is going on here.
Neither do they. No, I'm kidding. Just kidding. No, we suck right now. But we've had a lot of injuries, an unholy amount of injuries. So there's that. And then the guys that are there aren't performing and they aren't hitting. But
Braves Mets coming up too.
Yeah, well, they play the second game today, but we've got the Major League trade deadline coming up Tuesday at 6 p.m. So there will be a 4-hour show from 3 p.m. 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. on Tuesday. And as we're going through, we don't know what the Braves are going to do. They may do a lot, they may do a little, they may do nothing, but either way, we're going to be there. I'm going to have some folks on there. Maybe some, maybe a few. I don't know. Whoever wants to show up. Jack, if you want to show up, pull up. It's all good.
I got my Braves gear.
And then I'll have a regular show on Wednesday in which we'll probably be talking Falcons or whatever. But next week it'll be Tuesday and Wednesday. And looking forward to it. And hey, man, if you guys are so inclined, please hop on. I can be reached at For My ATL Sports 1 on YouTube. Hop on there, man. We can have a good time. And we'll take it from there. So, Jack, it's on you, sir. It's
For
on
my ATL Sports 1 on YouTube. Falcon fans, Braves fans, Hawks fans, head on over there. Even if you're a Jags fan, head over there too as well. Atlanta Falcons Fandemic said you don't want to get pulled over in Gwinnett with Jags gear in your ride. Just a heads up. That is tough. Jarnell also said he wants to get Azunia to head to the D-backs.
No,
so that's not happening.
Why do you want to take what are you doing, Janelle? What are you see? You're starting off wrong. You're starting this relationship.
You're starting off on the wrong foot.
What are we doing?
Falcons Fandemic said, post your link, Terry. If you want to post the link in the chat. For fans that's listening, for fans that's watching, Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts. Don't forget, head over to YouTube, hit that subscribe button. We're almost near 1,000 in subscribers. And that's big because, a lot of our podcasts are just live podcasts, right? Like I know a lot of other people do the pre-recorded videos and the shorts, and that is perfect. That is great. We love it. At one time for the fan, we get started with the live podcast, and we're almost at 1,000 subscribers here with the live podcast. But fans have been asking us, please do more pre-recorded content. Please do something. Please just add as much as you can about the Falcons. Just talk Falcons. So we're going to do that. But let's get to 1,000 subscribers, y'all. And big shout out to, once again, all the content creators. Big shout out to Mark Chaney. We had Mark Chaney on the show the other night.
Yes, Mark was great. Mark was great.
Mark can talk sports.
He can talk.
Yeah, it's great to have him on. I saw him yesterday with Lauren Porter too as well. Quarters with Porter, I believe the show is that she has. It's another young lady in the content creator community that talks Falcons. She talks, I believe, Braves too as well. But that is great to see, women in sports, right? Especially in the podcast game too as well. Like she has a cool channel, and talking with Mark yesterday, I was sitting there listening. She knows what she knows the Falcons are a good team this year. I might have to even reach out to Lauren. Like, Lauren, we hear your positivity over there on that channel. We want to bring it over here on one time for the fan because you're a Falcon fan. We're a Falcon fan. We all want to be champions at the end of the day. My boy Falcons Fandemic said, tracking to 1,000 subs. Keep pushing, fellas. One time for the fan. Atlanta Falcons Fandemic, another content creator too as well. Follow his channel too as well. Head on over there. Hit the like, share, and subscribe button. There's so many content creators that you can follow in this community. Let's just all be ready when the Falcons win, because that energy needs to be given on and off of the microphone, right? So Falcon fans, I thank you all for tonight. But that Instagram page, that's where you want to be now, y'all, because probably in the next couple hours, you're gonna see some stuff being posted. Tomorrow, it's training on the Instagram, and you want to see that. A lot of fans cannot make it to the training camp, but we'll keep you covered. Falcon fans, like, share, and subscribe button. We'll see y'all back real soon, y'all.